Welcome to Idle Insights, everybody. My name is Dylan, and I am coming to you live from the safe and isolated confines of my home in beautiful Victoria, BC, Canada. I have a very special guest with me here today, but first I would like to give a shout out to our moderator Jay and our executive producer Erica, as well as a huge thanks to Dungeons & Dragons for hosting us on the official D&D Twitch. It is and will always be an honor to be here. Now, you may already be familiar with my guest if you're one of the over 900,000 followers of Hat Films on YouTube, where he's been making dangerous pancake and face-melting videos for the last decade. Chances are, if you're here, though, you're familiar with his character on High Rollers, Lucius, Virion, Eluin, Elanasto, the easiest name ever to remember or say, the Arcane Chromat. Please welcome Chris Trott and the cutest dog you've ever seen to the stream.
Hello. This is way more important, right?
Yeah,
Mochi,
what's
my dog?
What's his name?
Mochi.
Oh,
Little Japanese Spitz. She's only a year and a bit old, bless her.
Oh,
just
man.
thought she'd come say hi.
Yeah.
There you go. She's also wet 'cause she's just been outside and it's raining, so...
Oh, yeah.
I'll put you down now.
No, wait, no,
There we go.
No, I'm kidding. Focus back on the stream. That is the cutest dog ever.
Yeah, I know. I'm pretty lucky. You're pretty cute. Yeah, we'll keep you. We'll keep you.
I just got told by one of my mods that it's actually our other mod right now, Sasha. So sorry, Sasha. It's Sasha today. So, you know, I was going to ask you a bunch of questions about Lucius and about Hat Films, but now I just want to know about the dog. When you got the dog a year ago?
Yeah. So last January, man, time is weird, right? I was just thinking, man, it has been like almost 2 years actually. Yeah. So this year's gone. It's a write-off. So January 2019.
So you got her just before we met at D&D Live then?
Actually, I was talking with my girlfriend and booking in to go see the person that had her whilst we were there. I think I was texting and stuff like that whilst with you guys.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's where it lines up. Yeah.
Okay.
And then when I got back home, we went and saw...
Everything that happened in 2020 is like this void calendar of who knows how long it was. Yeah. Last week feels like years ago. You know, January was another decade altogether.
It's crazy, right?
It's been.
But yeah, we can talk about Mochi the whole stream if you like.
It's been really, really weird. Where does she like to walk? No. So I gotta say, when I was reading Lucius's full name the first time, I couldn't help but think that you'd intentionally designed it to be hard for Mark to say.
Oh yeah, everything I do is intentionally designed to be hard on Mark.
Oh.
I'm the ultimate troll for the party, and Mark hates me for it, but I just love his reactions. So I just keep doing it, much to his dismay.
Do you have a favorite troll moment?
I think most of what I have done is a spur of the moment thought. So I often tend to like blindsiding him with a bad decision or just having to force him to roleplay something that he hates doing. I'm terrible at remembering what the hell I've ever done. But I can guarantee you it happens almost on a weekly basis. So
I know there are a number of clips that get circulated of just highlight reels of Mark stumbling over different things. Which is a little mean, but at the same time, like, it is funny. That whole
it is entertaining, right?
Snack thing was
saying
good.
that. I did think of one moment which is actually in Idle Champions, which is the cows. That was a moment which I really pushed for me encountering cows. And playing out the whole fact that my character doesn't know what a cow is and thought they were monsters, evil monsters of the night. That was me forcing Mark to roleplay and do a whole combat scenario based on that. So there's a good troll moment.
That is a good troll moment. Where did the idea for your character just being unfamiliar with cows come from?
I wanted to play a really aloof high elf that's so mothered, smothered, and royalty, like really aloof, and just completely oblivious to the outside world. So I like to play into the fact that I like to play dumb a lot because I am a bit dumb, so it helps with the roleplay. So I thought I'd take that to 11.
Okay. Okay. Do you have any other like planned ideas related to that? To the just general disconnect from what it's like to be living outside their original bubble?
I mean, yeah. Although saying that, with my character, I'm taking a turn which I never thought I would, which is treating my character very seriously. I've always kind of gone into D&D a little bit lighthearted, kind of playing myself, but an extra version of myself, because I feel that that's easiest rather than trying to role play something that's the complete opposite of my own personality. So I started off Lucius being very much a caricature of myself, just oblivious, naive, and really over the top. But throughout, just so many awesome moments have happened that I'm now taking him serious, and I don't want anything bad to happen to him. And he's grown as a person. He's not so naive anymore. I'm taking these thoughts on board, and I'm actually playing seriously, which is interesting for me, but it's really, really fulfilling, I will say.
Now, what is your history like with D&D? Is it did you start playing with high rollers, or have you been playing for a long time?
So I was playing before High Rollers, but not too much before High Rollers. I'd say a good year or two at most before. So Mark moved to where the city we're in now, Bristol, so that he could work with Yogscast, which is the network that Hat Films is under, and High Rollers, as a marketing. He's a marketing man, social media man. That's what he did. He tweets and stuff and TikToks and whatnot. Well, he did, and I got to know him through that. Became friends instantly. I kind of also knew about Penny Arcade and that D&D existed. I very much knew it existed. And I wanted to try it out. Never had the friendship group that wanted to do that sort of thing. Tried it with my family. It really bombed heavily. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, and I was about 12 years old and didn't understand the rules. And they got bored in like 10 minutes and were like, okay, maybe not. So it's been in my vicinity for my whole life. However, I've never had the chance to play it until I met Mark. So Mark is... it's his fault, really. I was like, finally, someone that actually understands D&D. So I put together a little group, and I thought I'd DM because, got someone that's really knowledgeable. No, I'll take the seat. Thank you. No, I'll control it. You be a player. And got some friends together and played it a little bit about a year before High Rollers started. And then me and Mark thought it'd be pretty cool to kind of... We were inspired by Critical Role, Penny Arcade. They kind of... Penny Arcade were going way longer, obviously. They're
they're like year
shows.
14 now, I think.
Exactly, and they had a podcast, so that was really inspirational. And Critical Role, we just noticed, had started doing their thing, and Mark knows Matt Mercer, and was like, oh, we could do this. This is like perfect. We're in a network of content creators, and we're really super into this, and we've got people that really want to play D&D, are also, front-facing and on YouTube, and we can bring them all together. So we did that and shoved it. And so I've been playing mostly as High Rollers. However, throughout High Rollers existing, which I think is like 4 or 5 years old now, I've always had a D&D thing, private game going on in the background as well, keeping it going.
Are you DMing in the private game?
I usually DM, yeah. I don't know why, because it's so much work, and I put way too much ambitious stuff into it. So I did Strahd for Mark and other friends as well, and I went to the extent of like making really fancy letters and buying a wax seal kit so that I could seal the letters. I used Sirenscape for like the ambient noises, and I had like lighting that like dimmed down and changed based on the environment we were in. I went way too overboard and spent way too much time planning all this stuff. I don't have the time to do it, but it's just when I take control, I really go overboard. And then unfortunately they killed Strahd in the most trivial way possible, and it just hard ended the whole campaign.
What? Like he fell in some water or something?
Well, I was just playing him really dumb. I thought I'd mix up the campaign a little bit and have him appear way more often. Yeah. And he just appeared in the middle of daytime and in a really like unimportant moment, and they just thought this is the point where we're just going to unleash all our metagaming, min-maxing tactics and bring this guy down. And I couldn't beat them, and they just killed him there and then. And I was like, well okay. I guess that's it, guys. I'll put all these wax-sealed letters away, I guess. And all these really finely printed maps and stuff. And, well, guess it's done.
Yeah. My part of being a DM is this, for me, is this very vivid memory of... and I swear it was one of my friends in my 20s, because I'm old, they're playing D&D, and everybody decides to do this one thing instead of like the obvious carrot that the DM is doing, and like so they finish the session, and then afterwards the DM like picks up a bunch of stuff and just tears like 10 pages of stuff in half and throws it in the garbage. It's like, thanks guys.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
You know, so or maybe I'm just making that up, and that's what it feels like to be a DM.
Yeah, just your finely crafted plans just shattering in front of you.
Yeah.
That is DMing, though, in a nutshell. And I think Mark has created that fine balance of planning enough, but knowing that we're going to totally destroy his plans. Nevertheless. Yeah.
You have a few ideas for things that you want to do, and then
bullet points.
Hopefully familiar enough with your players that you're like, do you think that they'll do this one thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
I very much understand. In one of the campaigns I'm DMing, I'm really enjoying that my players made some very audacious and bad choices. And they don't watch this show, so I can talk about it.
Nice.
But,
spoilers.
It's their Dragon Heist campaign, and they don't know it, but they're about to attempt to rob and kill Jarlaxle.
Okay.
And that's not going to happen. They're going to lose the fight really badly. And I can't wait. Love it. Just love it.
So, are you going to kill him? Are you going to hold back?
It says in the book that what he does is he'll just knock everybody unconscious, steal everything they have, and leave them naked in an alley. So that's what it'll
nice. Do. Just a total reset, basically.
Yeah. You get to keep your levels, but all of your items, everything. If they try to attack him, So we'll see.
That's gonna be fun.
They don't know that the guy is Jarlaxle because they still think he's the weird flamboyant captain dude.
Oh, yeah, in the disguise.
So they broke into his ship. And they're like, yeah, strangely enough, all the humans on this ship are speaking Elvish, but with an accent you can't quite place. And they're like, that's weird. Well, anyways, let's keep sneaking. And I'm like trying to lay down hints. So, yeah.
Amazing.
Love it. Yeah, I'm like, please make these mistakes. Yes. I live for this. Yeah. So I have a question. What's the deal with this fascination with making pancakes in crazy places?
Right. So Pancake Day is a thing. I assume you have a Pancake Day as well.
Right? We do pancakes every Friday, actually, but they're art pancakes. Right. So they're
of
pictures.
Course. Yeah. I saw Lucius's one, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
So ours are not like that. So we have Shrove Tuesday in the UK, and for some stupid reason we thought it would be a great idea. This is on our YouTube channel, by the way, not HighRollersDnD. This is on my own thing, where we decided to make pancakes. And the first year it was like, let's just do it blindfolded because that's funny. And then every year, much like all the other videos we do, we take it to the next stupid level of how absurd we can make it. At one point, we made as many as we possibly could, American style, so super thick and fluffy. Yeah. Stacked them all up and then chainsawed them right at the end because it makes a great thumbnail. Lots of people want to click on that. But it was also a terrible idea because we did that in our office with like this 2-stroke chainsaw that kicked out a ton of smoke. Thankfully, we were leaving that office. It was kind of like our last day there, so we were like, screw it, let's chainsaw in the office. And then, every year we just do something more and more ridiculous, making pancakes, and that's become a tradition for us, much like birthday videos as well. When each of us have a birthday, the other two of Hat Films decide to do the most horrendous thing possible for that person on their birthday.
Oh, wonderful.
And make a fun video.
Good friends,
So it's usually me that gets the short end of the stick and has the worst things done to me. Like, I'm usually last year I was put on a spinning wheel, much like the Wheel of Fortune style.
Yeah.
And I was segmented into different bits, and if it lands like in the head segment, slime is poured onto my head, or other bad things happen, and if I can't answer questions correctly, yeah, it gets nasty. But our audience seems to love it, so you know, we're the jokesters, we're the jesters.
Are you not entertained? Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you have? I'd love to hear what some of your ideas for crazy pancakes are that you guys didn't go with because they were too insane, or just not feasible.
That's the problem. Is someone needs to tell us that no, this is bad. You should stop doing this. So far, every idea that we've had has become a video. So this is the problem with YouTube: is there's no health and safety regulations. There's no people in an HR department saying like, we need to okay this first. No, it's just three idiots making reckless decisions and potentially injuring themselves doing so. So far, we're okay.
So, no plans to like trebuchet a ton of pancakes at a castle or something?
That is a great idea. I'm going to write that one down.
Please do. I'd love to see that video.
Yeah. Oh, that would be great. That's such a good idea. So we've recently bought a warehouse space, because it turns out trying to do stuff like this in an office room surrounded by other people that are just trying to get on with their lives and do their work is not the best, and they don't like the smell of a pancake you know, slowly rotting in the corner of an office, or pumpkins for Halloween, things like that. So we decided we'll be nice and we'll make our own. We'll get our own rented space. There's just a big breeze blocked unit with concrete floors where we can make mess and noise. So we bought that in March, and lockdown happened.
Yeah.
So nothing's happened in basically a whole year because we couldn't go there, which sucks. But hopefully by
the
March, vaccines rolling out. Hopefully by next March, yeah, we'll be good to go.
Yeah.
We'll see. But yeah, we're looking forward to that. So the pancake stuff will just escalate further, I'm sure. Now that we've got the big space to do trebuchets at castles, you know, it's all possible.
Yeah, I could just picture a ball of pancakes unrolling and just raining them down.
Oh, can you imagine? In slow motion.
But also, you can't have a person in the way of that, because if like 600 pounds of the 1 ton hit somebody, sorry, 275 kilos or so.
Thanks. Oh wait, good conversion.
Yeah,
it's all right. We use a horrible butchering of both in the UK anyway. We don't know. We can't conform to kilograms, imperial or metric. We just use a bit of both.
Well, it's because everybody switched. Like when our parents were going through school, they switched everywhere.
Right.
And so, like, my dad still talks in miles and pounds, and like,
same.
He never bothered. He's like, I don't care.
Yeah, it's stupid. In the UK, we have like speed limits that are in mile per hour. We weigh ourselves in kilograms, and we have the metric for a load of other things like centimeters, and but then we also have inches for certain like measurements as well.
Yeah.
It's bizarre. It's a horrible mishmash of stuff.
It's weird.
But yeah, going back to the chainsaw thing, I actually did use a chainsaw today.
Oh.
I was in the warehouse today saying that. So I don't know if you know, but the Yogscast do a charity drive every year in this Jingle Jam. Yeah. So I just came back from a stream. It's an art stream where we had a load of canvases, and we decided to throw paint at it to make art, obviously, because that's how art is made, right? You throw paint at a thing, and
as long as the paint gets there.
Yeah, it's on the canvas. Like that's ticked a box, right? So we did that for a few hours, raising as much money as we can. We chainsawed through a canvas that had hate painted on it, so we destroyed hate.
Oh, so okay,
We've ended hate. So that's quite a bold statement.
Thank you. Yeah, that was a great thing to accomplish today. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm a little bit spaced out from, again, the chainsaw fumes filling up the warehouse and us having to evacuate. So yeah, I think we need to calm down. I think we need to chill out a little bit. Play some more D&D.
I feel like hate getting chainsawed is a good use of chainsawing. And an appropriate
end. It's a great end to 2020.
Yeah,
I think.
Oh, isn't it?
Cut through it. Yeah.
Yeah, we
very
do.
Cathartic.
we do these weekly comics with Luke McKay, comic artist, and obviously last week we did our Aerois one, which was an homage to this like indie film from 1977 that nobody's ever seen. Right. But everything really turned out good. Yeah, I don't know. And who's going to take the spot of the princess? But we have the plan for the next one. The one next week is very much a 2020 is done comic for the last one
we're through. 2020 is over.
Yeah.
Is it another homage, or is it just a no? This is 2020.
It is an homage. But if I in any way hint at what the homage is, it'll give it away immediately because it's too easy. It. Yeah.
Okay. Leave it as a surprise.
Yeah. The last one you had to be a bit of a nerd to recognize the poster.
I mean,
but it's pretty iconic.
I'm surprised by anyone that didn't get it. Let's be honest. It's so iconic that, and I love the fact that you put Lucius in the layer post. Thank you for that.
Yeah, no problem. That was my idea. It seemed like the best use of Lucius in that picture.
Absolutely, especially as his Fey Lucius as well.
Yeah,
phenomenal. Yeah. Inspired. Loved it.
I'm just glad everybody liked it. I'm like, I hope they like this idea.
Oh man, we loved it. You should have seen our WhatsApp group. We just kind of exploded for a little bit. It's like, look at this, and then Tom was doing like cut out close-ups of Sentry's face. It's like the expression on Sentry is like the best thing ever. She just stood over there in the corner. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, we really loved it.
I'm glad you guys liked it. It was that was Absolutely, fun to collaborate on, and I don't know. It's when you have an opportunity to do something really creative and fun, you got to take it, right? So.
You got to go 110% in.
Or at least whatever percent you have left in your tank, given that this year has been slowly grinding us all into dust.
Well, you pulled through and you made an epic piece.
Super cool. Oh man, I guess on the note of Aerois, it was funny because the idea was a movie poster, and I'm like, well, this one seems the most Aerois at this point. In that,
yeah, you're right.
I swear when we first started working with you guys, it was a show that was set in a fantasy realm, where you're on one planet, and
everything's kind of normal.
Yeah. Well,
kind of tropey.
And then every time we kind of schedule everybody out over the course of a year and a half, 2 years, because that's about how long it takes to get 5-6 characters in a game, and and so we get Ayla in, and then we and we're just kind of like making our way through it, and then like by the time we get to the end, I'm like, wait, so they did what are these items? Because like you're talking about the items that you have. It's like, well, this is what my character did. Yeah. And then
it was Mark's plan all along to do this, and we kind of had an idea that he was going to do this. It was initially a great idea regardless, right? In the early stage, like you said, it's on one planet, but the planet's kind of had this cataclysmic event, which is kind of tropey, but also a really cool start to a campaign. It's like something happened before this. There was a life before this cataclysmic event, and then it sent these cool floating islands across the world. That's a really cool concept, where you've got these, like, I can't remember the name of it, but there's these paths that these islands follow, and you can chart them, and I thought that was really cool. And like certain trade happens when this island is overhead, and that was all really cool. But then the space stuff was always going to happen, like an invasion essentially of these super futuristic Final Fantasy-esque army that was always there, but we didn't really understand because this event happened that kind of wiped out the history of what happened. And then just stuff exponentially escalated from there, and then we found our way out of the planet, going through space, discovering other planets, realizing that our little pithy world is quite important to stuff much bigger than we ever could have imagined, and we are right at the center of it. It's so grand and epic at this point. We've like transcended multiple genres So yeah, we're in the Star Wars phase now,
Yeah.
for sure.
Is it is the scale of everything that's happening? Is that what's making you take Lucius more and more seriously?
I think so. I think the gravitas of the task at hand, but also it's really good to play a character that is surrounded by other people that are essentially gods at this point. So each person that isn't Lucius essentially has a really strong connection either with a deity and they're like the chosen one, or they're like a special race that was created by so and so, or they have or a sentient god as their weapon. For Lucius, he's kind of got caught up amongst this group, and he's not that special. He's just a noble descent. He's a rich boy with he's got sorceress abilities. He can hold himself in battle, but his purpose and his meaning doesn't match up to his party that surrounds him. So it's really fun to play a character that's like, am I good enough kind of thing. So I made friends with these people. I'm kind of caught up in all this, and I want to stand my own with them kind of thing. Yeah, and that's a really cool conflict to play out. I really enjoy that. So I am treating it more seriously, and it's really interesting to do so, but also still have those moments of, you need to have those comedic moments to kind of balance the peaks and the troughs, right? Of the, oh god, this is so oppressively serious, and always about like trying to defeat this oppressive evil that's going to consume everything. You need these lighthearted moments where you catch Lucius in his little frilly underwear and doing stupid stuff and making reckless decisions, and it's fun. It's fun to play both.
Do you have like a sort of mapped out plan of how you'd like Lucius to grow and change as a character, or are you flying by the seat of your pants?
Oh man, I always fly by the seat of my pants. I think it's my best tactic is to not think very much and kind of just let stuff happen. I feel like it's the most organic that way, to play your character as if they were in that moment at that time, and I try not to forge and sculpt a path that you hope's going to happen. It's kind of like being the DM, right? Where it's like, I hope they go down the right path and do this cool thing because I prepared so hard for it, and they end up taking the left path, and it's like, oh, I've just got bare bones bullet points for this one. I feel the same way for Lucius. It's like, I'm just going to let the story happen. I'm going to react in the moment, and whatever happens to me and my character in that moment is what affects him ultimately going forward and the decisions he makes. So I feel like that's really nice and organic to think that way, at least for me. Kim is a very different player. She has like a whole encyclopedia of her character and the whole campaign, lovingly crafted into a journal. So I'm sure when you made her character for Idle Champions, she had very specific details on how everything is.
Of the high rollers, she definitely sent us the most information about her character. Yeah. So her character backstory was like, I don't know how many pages, but a lot. So she actually helped a lot with Mark, creating the world, and the world that she came from is kind of her own creation. Lucius and all my characters before that I've ever played with Mark are like, hey Mark, I got Jack Sparrow meets Hugh Laurie, and can I make him rich and an elf? Cheers, mate. Could you fill in the rest? Thanks. Tragic backstory or something. Nice. I think he also enjoys doing that as well, because kind of gives him control of my backstory a little bit. I gave him a couple of nudges this time. That's the most I've ever written. I think I did a page, actually. I almost did a full A4 page of words. There were a couple of pictures in there to beef it up, but that's the most I've ever written for a character, for sure. But yeah, going back to the original question, I don't like to plan too much. I have like Lucius hopes and dreams, like what he thinks at the moment is his goal. Thinking from his perspective with everything going on right now. But I don't think as a player playing this character, I hope that this character ends up like this. I don't ever think that. I don't think. Okay.
If
So
that
what
makes
are
sense.
Lucius's hopes and dreams? Like where his is he mentally at?
I think he ultimately wants everything to be okay, none of the bad to be happening. There's this all-consuming evil that's like literally destroying everything. He wants that to go away, and he wants to be strong enough with his party members to defeat that, of course. But he also wants to then ultimately retreat back to his hometown and go back to a simple life because he's realized that the world is too big and terrifying for him. And he thought he could handle it, and he very much appreciates and misses his family and his home. So he wants to go back there. And maybe if he's rich enough, have all his friends live near him. That would be nice.
That's interesting. Like, so as you're playing this character over a while now, over years, do you find that you have more and more of an investment in where the story is going? Like,
Yeah.
you know, will it bum you out if he just like croaks and like he's unsavably dead at some point and you have to re-roll, or like, is there some specific way you want it to go in the end?
I've come really close in almost every session in the past 3 or 4 weeks. Like, Lucius has been on the ropes multiple times, and there were some really tragic ones which teared up a lot of other players in it. And I rub salt in the wound in these moments. I really like, they don't take me over emotionally in the moment, so I can do things that like just, you know, twist the knife a little bit more, make it just a little bit more sad for them in that moment. So I really thoroughly enjoy playing my character through tragic moments, and I think those are really key moments. A lot of people are very careful with the characters because they're very precious about them, and they ultimately don't want anything bad to happen to them. And I think that's, of course, that's natural, right? Because you care so much about this character that you've invested 2 years in. But I am all for the bigger picture, the bigger story, which is if Lucius could die in this moment and it's going to be this epic, hell yeah, I'm going to lean into it, and he's going to have such an awesome, dramatic, and meaningful death that affects the rest of the players and has a really awesome moment for them.
Yeah,
that's kind of how I think about it. Is I'm going to go. I'm not going to try and fight this. I'm going to play Lucius, and I'm not going to try and min-max my stats to try and like eke out an extra spell to try and survive this. I'm going to see where the role play is, and if the role play is really good, I have to let fate take its course, you know, and really enhance and dramatize that moment, I think. So I've been asking Mark for a long time to kill Lucius, and he still hasn't done it. He hasn't managed it yet. They keep saving me. So.
You might have a bullet point list of like opportunities, you know?
Yeah. I mean, recently, we've had some tough fights. He's thrown it out. He's found the perfect combat balance of like it being really squeaky bum time. So they're really dramatic and it's really cool. And Lucius is such a glass cannon. He's like, he wears cloth. He doesn't wear any armor. Yeah. He's super powerful, which means all the baddies are like, that guy's really powerful. Let's kill him first. And then they smash him with a hammer and he's down. So everyone's just spent, you know, healing him and getting him up and crying. So that's what I bring to the table.
Did you? So I know that Arcane Chromat is one of Mark's homebrew subclasses. Did you develop it with him, or was he like, "All right, your character's doing this"? Like, how did that happen?
Good question. So this is the second time he's done this. He's offered me in the first campaign. I've got this like racial thing that's going on. Do you want to be that? And I'm like, special person? You want me to be the special thing? Yes, I will be your special thing. In the first campaign, it was like a Lightborn, where there was like a aura of light inside, and that's where the energy comes from, like a radiant energy, which is really cool. And this one, Lucius, he again had the idea of this subclass, the Arcane Chromat, and he was developing it as we were kind of building our characters anyway, but he had like the rough heterochromia thing where you had one eye color dictates the magic that you're adept at, like acid or ice or fire. You roll d6s to determine it, and I genuinely did that. It was random fate that it ended up as acid and ice.
Yeah.
And that's all in his subclass thing. But yeah, anytime Mark is like, I've got this cool special subclass, he can't finish his sentence, and I'm like, yes, I will be that thing. I will test out this new thing, because he usually makes it very cool, and it mixes things up, right? It brings a new piece of flavor to the audience as well, and to me, and it also usually is a little bit OP, so and he has to dial it back, so I make the most of those moments as well.
Yeah. Somebody in chat was saying he doesn't have bracers of protection and doesn't use mage armor, so it gives him a heart attack.
Yeah, I've been thinking about maybe I'll play and get some mage armor, but at the same time, the drama's so great. I love it. I love being this glass cannon.
Yeah.
With low AC.
Plus, honestly, everybody else in that party is so sturdy.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
even Quill, super tanky. Really beefy. He plays his character super well, and he's very smart, so he knows what he's doing. Ayla is Ayla. She's never been knocked down ever, I think. Nova, again, is quite tanky for a warlock as well. She's got the shield, and I don't know, she hasn't got a shield. She's got Tiangong, which is like super powerful. Sentry is a paladin guardian. I mean,
yeah,
she's
unkillable.
Super tanky and a paladin.
Except for that time that she was killed.
Unkillable. Yeah, so you have to have a squishy in there. I think if we were all kind of, attack sponges, it wouldn't be as fun, right?
Yeah.
And they wouldn't have anyone to save. So I'm the guy that they have to save all the time. Yeah.
That's good, though. You get to be the damsel in distress.
I love being the damsel in distress. I love being knocked out so that I can do stupid stuff with the live stream because I'm in control, and when my character goes down, I can then start doing stupid stuff on stream, which is great. And the other thing is, it creates loads of tension and drama for the rest of the party, and then they have to focus on me, and I'm an attention seeker, and I need all the focus to be on me at all times, and a really good way to do that is to be knocked unconscious and dying. So it works really well in my favor.
Somebody was asking about Lucius's father in chat.
Yeah. So, have you ever seen Blackadder? It's a UK comedy.
No, it was definitely on TV on the
second.
CBC in Canada.
Oh, great. So the second one had Hugh Laurie in it, and he played a foppish prince.
Yep.
That's
and Rowan
basically
Atkinson
what
was his butler or something in it.
Yeah. His servant, and he had Baldric as well as the underling. Yeah. So, but Hugh Laurie's character as the Prince George, was very much an inspiration for Lucius. Like this kind of aloof, kind of dumb character that didn't really understand anything and said stupid stuff. That's very much an inspiration.
Yeah.
And I felt that it would be really interesting to have not a mummy's boy, but a daddy's boy, who is like always aspiring to be as good as his dad.
Yeah.
And just reveres his dad because he's like the pinnacle of man. To Lucius, at least, and he's like done everything perfectly, and the way he's presented himself and his fashion sense and everything like that. So I thought it would be interesting to just really lean into that, and also just with his language show just how naive and childish he is, really, that he still calls dad daddy, and he calls like socks sockies and things like that, like because he can get away with it because he's a rich little boy. Says very posh things like that. So it's just fun to play, honestly. But without going into too many spoilers, turns out the whole relationship with his dad is not the best, and it's kind of unhealthy. And well, I don't want to spoil it because it's a really good arc that Mark created and sent me down. But does it get resolved or not? We don't know. But he's always trying to do his family proud because there's a lot of pressure on him to like carry on the family estate and the business and all that stuff, and he's very much not the best. He's like the black sheep, and his sister is way better than him, etc., etc. So he's got a lot to live up to, and this the whole start of Aerois was him finally venturing off to do a job for his father to represent the Elenasto family, and that ship crashed. So that's how it all starts. Yeah, it's great. Really cool.
That's cool. I love that you collaborate with your DM and have back and forth writing narrative for it. That's cool. None of my players do that with me.
Stories, I think.
Although one of them made no backstory. It's like, I want to play this. I'm like, okay, why are you playing that? What is your character? All this stuff, and they didn't have any answer. I'm like, all right, then I will write it. Enjoy. And
are they happy with it?
They're unnerved by it, which is even better, I think.
They're worried about you specifically. You created this.
Well, it's really awful.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is it dark or is it?
It's really messed up. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
They wanted to play an Eberron changeling in a Forgotten Realms thing, and I challenged them like, well, so why is this changeling there? Like, changelings in D&D at least are pretty specifically from this one thing, and they existed because of this one set of circumstances. So why are you here? And they're like, I don't know. I'm like, okay. I'm like, I'll come up with something, but
I'll tell you why.
yeah. And so they're a warlock, and their patronage is super messed up, and their relationship with their patron is super messed up. But then when they eventually figure out how they were made, it's gonna mess them up. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But that makes again, like, I love that when there's like this jarring, horrible backstory that has to eventually, you have to face that at some point. I love that. I think that's really cool.
Yeah. And
Mark did it really well for my character. I did not see it coming. I thought it was all going to be relatively okay and just a bit of arguments and bickering, but it was way worse. Way worse than that. So he made it super tragic, which is super dramatic, and the audience loved that stuff. So
of course they do. I know.
And I love playing it. So.
Yeah, they learn. Audiences seem to learn to love characters, and then love those characters going through trauma. Like, the emotional connection to these characters seems to be the thing that like really ties people into them.
I think it's just an outpouring of empathy, sympathy. You can relate to certain moments that they go through. I think it just makes that passion for that character so much more when you see them just get dragged through the mud and then still fight on and find a reason to keep fighting and get through it. I think that just makes such a more three-dimensional character that's gone on a journey that everyone has witnessed. And the fact that it's live streamed as well, it's like literally in the moment you're watching it develop. It's not like a reading of something that's already been planned or dictated or you know, written. It's happening in the moment. Those decisions are happening right in front of you, for good or for bad. And that's what makes D&D so special in a way, is because the human is going to make the mistake. Like, we're not always going to make the best decision as well. And I think that's so human and so organic that it makes the best stories. When it doesn't go the perfect way, it's like, you should have actually used your bonus action to do this, and therefore that boss wouldn't have, you know, broken your arm and caused all these problems for you. Instead, no, the person just forgot because they're so stressed out by the whole environment, the situation, that it caused them to forget. And that's what made the best moment. And I think, obviously, people get very passionate. And like, no, I can't believe this is happening to my favorite character, and I don't want you to go through any more bad things. But ultimately, you know, in hindsight, they're always like, that was such a cool moment, though. In the moment, they're stressed out, but we always look back fondly, and those are always the moments that people tell us are the best ones, is when something awful happens. And we come through it. So, yeah, it's good fun.
Somebody in chat was asking if you have any ideas what you would roll if Lucius somehow kicked the bucket.
I really should be planning other characters. I really should. Because, again, you know, I am on the edge of dying on a weekly basis right now, so I really need to think of another one. I haven't actually thought of anything. I really haven't. I usually end up just being like a human or a half-elf or something like really boring. So and it's usually the personality that kind of becomes the unique thing or the unique spin or the backstory. So I don't know. Or what does chat want me to be? Maybe I'll just pick something from chat.
Oh, it's dangerous to give them that kind of power.
I mean, yeah, it's true. But I like just picking something random and being like, I'm in over my head, but I'll figure it out, and kind of mudding my way through. So I kind of like the random chance. So I might just roll my race. I'll be honest. I'll probably roll it. And see what happens.
That's always fun, actually. The true chaos of just throwing together a character based on completely random rolls. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. And then there's enough world and 3 years of history of Aerois to tie in nicely with something that's already pre-existing, and then make that.
Next thing you know, you're a sentient block of cheese. Yeah, I
can't wait. There it is. The big announcement. My next character is a sentient block of cheese. Let's make that work, Mark. I can't wait. Have that conversation.
There's a couple other questions from chat here. Is Lucius curious about his Arcanist ancestry?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, there was a moment recently when there was some timey-wimey stuff where we kind of saw like past, like centuries past, and unfortunately Lucius didn't actually get to see the fact that one of his ancient great grandmothers was a pivotal part of like some magical research that was going on in the place they were in, and he was just like, he missed that opportunity. But yeah, I think if there is a settling of the dust, he would very much like to venture into like the Arcanist history of Lucius for sure, and like where all this magical ability comes from, and especially the arcane chromat stuff. I think again, I'm kind of like the black sheep of the family. This has never really happened before, I believe. Yeah. It's all just been like straight sorcerers and subclasses that are regular, whereas Lucius is a bit different. So yeah, I'm sure me and Kim's character Nova, who's like all about science and figuring stuff out, would like to go root into like why Lucius, where his power comes from, and the history of that. So yeah, maybe that would be a nice like holiday filler episode or something like that. A spin-off.
The 3 ghosts that come to Lucius are actually,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a great idea.
What else do we have here? Somebody else was suggesting asking whether or not there are player character rules for playing a Centaur.
There should be, if not.
I think there are. Yes, I forget what book it's in, but I swear they've done that for 5e at least.
It would make sense by this point, yeah. At least Unearthed Arcana or something like that would have a Centaur. You'd hope. Yeah.
I think it was in the Magic the Gathering book, actually, the Ravnica one. Yeah,
there
you go. Somebody in chat confirms. Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica.
Perfect. We also had a Centaur NPC, which was phenomenal, and it really made me want to play a Centaur. But how do you wear, pants? How do you wear trousers? Is it across the bottom, or is it halfway?
Just the back end.
Just the back end for you.
Just the back end. I don't know.
Okay, not all the way along.
I mean, do you wear pants
horizontally
if you're a Centaur?
Or just not wear them, that's true. But I'd like to wear them for fashion reasons.
Yeah.
I'd like to see, like, what the peak Centaur fashion could be.
Somebody in chat suggested Loxodon and Minotaur, and I was thinking, wouldn't it be hilarious if you rolled a Minotaur, given that person would be a cowman?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be perfect.
I'd love to do that.
From Lucius to a cowman.
Yeah. And then that would really upset the party as well, because they'd remember that, this is a Lucius thing, and he's dead now, and we're replaced by the thing he hated the most. Half man, half cow. That'd be great.
Oh, yeah.
I'm all for making the party fall apart emotionally, so I should really pick a race that's like really bad for them, like maybe like the enemy, a race that's like working with the enemy. I'll be that. And a defect, that'd be good.
Ooh, there you go.
Yeah, they came out of like the baddie's army. That'd be good. I like that. Kind of like the Finn character in the new Star Wars trilogy.
The former
like an ex-stormtrooper.
It's weird. It's actually that's what I was thinking at the same time while you were saying that. Yeah.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah, except in this, you get to tell a good story about your character. You don't just get pushed off to the side. The series goes on.
And like your whole promise and ambition just ruined. But that is a whole other story, right?
Yeah.
I
Definitely have to have a
trilogy.
fulfilling narrative arc for your character.
Yeah, right. I feel like we've achieved a better character arc in our High Roller sessions than the new trilogy has.
I think we have lived long enough for the prequel trilogy to no longer be the worst trilogy.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Man, how did they do that? Jesus. Disney.
Well,
what have you done? At least we got the Mandalorian, eh? At least we got that.
Yeah. I only have to stay up for 10 more hours and I can watch it.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot. New episode real soon. Damn.
Especially after last week's and the week before. The last few weeks they've been killing it all season. Good. Actually.
Man, you just don't think that the episode you just saw could get any better than it does. Yeah. Obviously, I'm not going to spoil anything, but if you haven't seen Mandalorian yet, find a way to do it. Jeez, it's so good. Yeah. It's finally a good Star Wars series that's happening, or a Star Wars piece of film, I guess, that's happened in recent memory. Apart from Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels, that's really good too.
I really liked Rogue One, but I didn't care for the other films that they made that much.
Rogue One was great. I did really like the war genre style that they went for with that.
Yeah, how everything sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I kind of like the fact that you didn't really have main characters that are like, you kind of had a group of people that were just in the thick of it. That was awesome. Mm-hmm. And then the ending, which tied everything together to the original trilogy, was
and also they did
badass.
They did a better job of making Vader scary in that than they have in just about anything.
I know, right?
I remember seeing that in the theater, and like I enjoyed the whole thing all the way through. And when they I mean, I guess I don't want to talk too many. Well, no, I'm just going to spoil it. Like when the like ramming Star Destroyers through the shield array and like all that stuff was just like, you know, jump up out of your seat and cheer kind of stuff. But at the very end, you figure the movie is over, and then you see a red lightsaber and like the most brutal slaughter, and you're like, oh man.
It was like, so visceral and so amazing. Yeah. And also just the attention to detail, like fan service dialed up to 110%. Yeah. Like you saw him, because obviously Vader at that point is like quite a stumbly wreck of a beast, really, that isn't really in control of his body because he's only recently like gained control of it and his new suit. So to see him just like storm through and just use the force on everything, badass.
Yeah. Plus, there's no lights on the front, right? So he turned off his life support.
Yeah, it went
so he could have a dramatic entrance.
That's right. That's a good point.
Yeah, and it's just like so. It's not until everything turns on then you hear the breathing. He's just like
so good.
Yeah. Oh.
So good, and just the panic on those guys as the door was closed, and they're like just passing the data, whatever it's called, through. So good.
Yeah,
man.
Loved it. And then the Mandalorian. It's just like we live in an era where there's new Star Trek and new Star Wars every week.
Yeah. We're in a good time.
Yeah. Contrary to how horrible everything is.
Yeah, at least we got that, right?
Yeah, this is pretty great. But I guess they filmed it before the pandemic, so hopefully it's not too long of a wait for another season. I don't know if season
2 of Mandalorian was filmed before the pandemic.
They were filming when season 1 was launching.
Oh, really? Yeah. Okay. Because I don't know if you have this now, but like new stuff coming out, watching TV series and stuff, I focus on, well, that guy's a little bit close to that guy.
Oh, God,
okay?
Yeah.
Do you have that all the time? I get that as well, where it's just like, how did they film that? Oh, they shouldn't hug. They shouldn't be hugging right now.
Yeah.
It's going to be weird going back to normal.
Well, yeah, especially when you watch a film and there's a crowd in it, and you're like, oh God, nobody's wearing masks.
Whoa, what is that? What is this?
Yeah.
That's a big Zoom call. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's a super spreader event. Watch out.
Yeah. So true.
Yeah.
All our like mannerisms and stuff like that are going to change. We're all going to be socially anxious creatures, more so than normal. Going back.
Yeah.
Paranoid and anxious. Can't wait.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, even just thinking about going back to D&D Live when we met. that was a tiny bar that we were all in. Like, we were close.
Squeezed in, right?
Like, hundreds of people just packed into this area.
Yeah.
And like, I'm like, well, we can't do that anymore. So.
I know. That was a really busy night, wasn't it? I got very drunk, I will say. I'm sorry.
I accidentally had too much too. No, it's all good. It happens.
Good. You can't remember either. Perfect.
Well, so the year before, because it was myself and our marketing director Clive, Clive's actually from the UK, and they have a faucet in that bar where you just open it and it pours out old fashioned. So the year before, Clive was drinking them and he got just absolutely hammered like really quick and like was just like brutally hungover the next day. And I was like, haha, sucks to be you. And then this past year, I'm like, I'll have one of those. And no, who I was with, Eric, he dragged me away from the Star Wars bar because I was about to sing Metallica karaoke and we needed to go to bed before we had to get all the work done to be at the event the next day. So
that point was a
Thanks,
blur.
Eric.
I remember feeling like I'm in Star Wars right now, and also I feel like I should go to bed because I am so drunk. It's just the measures that you get in America. I keep forgetting every time. Like, a shot in America is they give you way more than in the UK. Yeah. And then I just get wasted. So
yeah. I got accident drunk. Though. It happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
I haven't had a lot of old fashions since, actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah, you've been turned off a little bit.
Well, I generally really love them, but that was it was just, you know what, it was a lot stronger than I thought it was, which I guess says that it was good, but dangerous.
Potent. Yeah, very dangerous.
Yeah.
I look forward to a time like that in the future where we can all do that again and not be terrified of catching something at the same time.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Yeah. Anyways,
until then, we've got Zoom, I guess.
But we are at the end of our scheduled time. Do you have any shout outs or anything you want to do before I let you go?
Check out Idle Champions. It's a great game, and it's got one of the best characters now in the game. It's Lucius. Makes that game just 101% perfect, so please check it out. There is a code on screen, right? Where you can get
there is a code on screen. It's the Trottimus.
Ding dong. So if you haven't done that already, why not? Open it up, get it. Shout outs for me. I mean, please watch High Rollers. It's really good. It's very long though, so maybe not. Start with Strahd. It's a mini series, and then if it takes your fancy, then watch some more. We're on YouTube as well, so you don't have to watch live. We've got it all uploaded there as well. And if you want to watch me do really stupid stuff, watch Hat Films, but I highly recommend against it.
All right, Chris. Thanks a lot for taking time out of your evening to join me today. I know you had a busy day.
More than welcome. And, great to catch up with you.
Yeah, you too. And hopefully at another D&D Live someday in the distant future. Hopefully not too distant, but I don't know. I'm not optimistic about events in the first half of next year. I think it'll be the year after.
Neither.
Yeah.
I'm not going to hold out hope, but it'll be a nice welcome bonus if it does happen sooner, for sure.
Yeah. Anyways, thanks a lot. Take care, and
you too.
Play Lucius.
Goodbye.
All right.
Bye for now.
Bye. That was fun. That was a good chat. Chris is a lot of fun. Calling Chris Trott just Chris is weird. Well, so for me it's a little bit of a somewhat of a formality thing in that I don't know him super well. So calling him Trott seems weird to me. So I call him Chris. But given that he goes by Trottimus, people asking if you found the secret code. You did not. However, the secret code has been said on stream multiple times. So, yeah. Of course, picking which words and which combination is actually a little hard. So, I don't know. We'll see if you get it before the end of the stream. And if you don't, maybe I'll give you another hint. Anyways. Hi. My name's Dylan. I am at home for the... I don't know how many days it's been. I haven't even been to the office in... God, a while now. We had new new COVID orders from our provincial health officer a couple weeks ago that have since been extended, and so you know, not heading into the office unless you absolutely need to. It is what it is. Yeah. So there are a couple things I'd like to chat about and announce. And oh god, you know, I turned off auto progress like an hour and a half ago. So let's let that just keep going. Somebody at the very beginning of the stream asked if we have any surprises for end of the year content, and we do. We have an update coming next week. It'll be the final update going out for the last for this calendar year. So it will include both next week's content and update as well as likely all the stuff for the midwinter event and the next champion. Sorry, I need to drink some water before I just keep coughing. So we will be doing a day of streaming next Wednesday, starting at 9 a.m. Pacific and ending at 9 p.m. Pacific time. We have a lot of content. We have a lot of really cool stuff. You know, we'll be kicking things off with a Griddle Champion special first thing. We'll be doing our regular, whatchamacallit, Evergreen Champions with Margaret and Satine. We'll be doing our a regular Mars Guiding Hand. We will be doing a developer Q&A. We'll be doing a Bardic Inspiration special with a special guest, Ed Greenwood, between 4 and 6 p.m. And then after that, we will have a special TRPG one-shot featuring the Dungeon Master, Storyteller Mars, whom some of you may know, taking some members of the Idle Champions community, Trevor and Ali from Difficulty Class, Lee Goldberg, and Garwar, I think. Garwar, you're in that one too, right? Yeah, you are. We'll be doing a one-shot to wrap up the day. We'll be doing giveaways all day long, and we'll be talking a little bit about what's coming to the game early next week. But yeah, we will be kicking off our Year's End Festival next Wednesday. The first, we're going to be doing our previews of it a little bit slower this time than last time. In no way because we only had time to put together all of our promotional stuff yesterday. So the first thing that we'll be teasing will be one of the cuter things, as well as some of the other things coming with the update on Griddle Champions tomorrow morning. So if you're keen to get some insight into some things coming ahead of time, that will be where and when you can learn more. Anyways, yeah, I'm excited for it. It's gonna be a long day of streaming, a long day for our mods, Jay and Sasha, as well as myself and Margaret and everybody who's participating in it. But it's gonna be fun. Yeah. Plus, I mean, Jason Charles Miller and I are gonna be writing a song with Ed Greenwood about Elminster. Like, how cool is that? Alrighty, what other questions had I missed? Star Chaser asked how my back is. So, for those who don't know, a little 11 years ago now, I had a back injury that was pretty major. Broke my back in a couple places. You know, some pretty severe damage to a disc. Lots of issues that come along with that stuff. But you know, I'm fortunate enough to be moving around of my own accord and just living with a lot of chronic pain. And so my back, I like tweaked it last week, carrying my daughter with one arm and like getting up in just a kind of a weird angle and just kind of put pressure on it in a strange way. And it's just so unstable now that it's been in some state of spasm ever since. But you'll be happy to know I have an appointment to see my RMT on Monday. There are not a lot of appointments anymore. So, yeah, working on it, but still, yeah, it's painful. It sucks, but it could always be worse. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Lauren. Yeah. It'll be good. I mean, but I'm taking half of the day off on Monday to go to the appointment because of when it was available. But also, I don't know how much moving around I'll be doing after it because this guy does deep tissue massage in terms of just as an RMT, and like, man, you work out some of those problems you have from different muscle spasms and other things, and it could be both a major relief but like really painful. So we'll see. Let's see. Lauren asked if we have a stream producer. Where was it? I missed it. So the person producing this stream is a combination of myself and Sasha does all the moderation and all the sort of back end stuff, running the raffles, running the giveaways, responding in chat. I am doing the live production, I guess. Like, I have the XSplit running and Zoom and cameras, and then like some really rudimentary lighting for my home right now at the moment. And but on Wednesday next week, it's going to be a busy day. Yeah, it's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long, busy day, but ultimately a good one. Yeah, we are just all working with what we have at home. It is what it is. Yeah. I see somebody asked about Extra Life. We're putting together a statement, and I'm not sure if it is out yet. So what happened was the reason that our Extra Life was postponed indefinitely was because we received new orders from the province of British Columbia from our provincial health officer, and it was a new COVID lockdown that was kind of, they adjusted the guidelines for a whole bunch of stuff just to become a lot more strict because cases in British Columbia were going up at a frightening rate, and this past Monday they extended that through December into January. So because of that, there isn't really a way for us to do our Extra Life stream at all as long as these restrictions are in place. So our 2020 Extra Life stream is canceled. That said, we did raise a bunch of money for BC Children's Hospital Foundation, so we'll be excited to talk a little bit more about the money that we raised and donating it and everything soon. Yeah, I don't know if I could have sworn that was going to be going out on like our social media and our blog announcement while I'm on stream right now, but it'll probably happen sometime this afternoon. So yeah, I know a lot of people were looking forward to it. I was looking forward to it. I think it was going to be a lot of fun. I was certainly keen to check out Unfortunate Karaoke. And as well, I get the privilege of the last few years of being the first one to kick off the stream, usually playing something poorly these days. At least last year it was Untitled Goose Game. The year before it was a really bad Super Metroid run. I was embarrassed. And I can't remember what I did the year before that. But this year I was going to be kicking things off playing some Hades, Super Giant's game that, might get Game of the Year. I think it's likely it'll get Game of the Year. I think Cyberpunk was probably a shoe-in for it, but based on what I'm hearing about bugs and stuff, it seems like it's a game that's like nearly done. I don't know. I guess it depends on what your system is like and what platform you're playing it on and stuff, but anyways, not to knock it, I'm very excited to play Cyberpunk at some point, but Hades is my pick for Game of the Year, and I hope it wins. Anyways, that's what I was going to play. Wonderful game. And yeah, we had all kinds of board game streams and stuff planned, but no Extra Life in 2020, and it's sad. Yeah, it's Extra Life is one of the things we look forward to the most each year at the Codename Entertainment office, because under normal circumstances, it's when like all of our staff, our spouses, partners, many of our kids, everybody all comes to the office and we play and party all night. Well, at least as late as we can. I mean, I I go to bed a little earlier than a lot of the folks I work with. Some people actually make it through the whole 24 hours. I never do. I don't really try. I play until late and then I go to bed. But yeah, we were really looking forward to it. We're pretty bummed that it's not going to happen. We did a lot of prep. We put so much work into just upping our game and improving the quality of our stream and our production this year. But I mean, it needs to be safe too. So we are also very happy to do our part to help prevent the spread of a potentially deadly virus. It's the times we're in, you know. Let's see. I wish you good health, Dylan. Just feedback. It'd be nice to add the ability to view all champion skins in the collections menu. Yeah. Thanks for the feedback. Yeah, that's good feedback. Speaking of the end of the year, when are you guys shutting down for vacation? Our Green Paradox, you know us so well. I was going to make this announcement on Monday, but that is a little late. So next week, Monday, December 14th through 18th, is the last week in the office for the Codename Entertainment staff this year. We will be taking the subsequent 2 weeks off. So last day in the office on the 18th of December and our first day back in the office on Monday, the 4th of January. That is our plan for our holiday shutdown. Which is, I mean, I don't know if you can tell from the look on my face, but it's been a tough year and we're tired. I'm tired. Not just because I have a 10.5-month-old child that is, you know, the joy of my every waking moment, but also the responsible for all my waking moments throughout the nights as well, or many of them. But it's you know, that recharge time is important, even if you don't get to go anywhere, you know. Yeah, that was something I was going to be talking about, doing our announcements and everything on Monday. But I am happy to tell you now because you asked. Are there any type of last chance Extra Life donations that are going to be available for Wednesday's stream? You know, we weren't planning on it. So the thing about the day of streaming on this coming Wednesday is that half of the streams are produced remotely and half of them are produced in studio, so that we can have gaps for you know, to adhere to our COVID safety plan in order to make sure that everything is safe. So even though Griddle Champions and Evergreen Champions are right beside each other in the schedule, there's a half-an-hour gap there where Sean will be shutting down Griddle Champions and cleaning the streaming room, and then transitioning to Margaret coming in there and getting everything set up for Evergreen. And so what we'll probably do is for that half-hour window, you know, maybe I'll do a chat, like a quick Q&A chat or something, stream produced from here. But everything else, we're kind of alternating stuff that's remote versus stuff that's in the office, except the last couple of streams are all remote. So we're just, yeah, it's a you know, it's not without its challenges, but it is what it is. This is the world we currently live in. Can I just pause for a moment to take a sip of my drink? But also to give a shout out, I'm sure many of you have noticed, if you look that way, that it no longer says Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms. It says Idle Insights. Today is episode 1 of Idle Insights, and there was a new logo in the countdown screen. Well, there was no countdown, but in the loading screen. A couple weeks ago, when it was Margaret, Sean, and myself on stream, we were talking about naming the show, because our longest running weekly show, you know, we were 150 episodes in, and it ended up being 151, but we were 150 episodes in, and you know, it was about time that we had a name for it. You know, Mars Guiding Hand is a great name for a show. Bardic Inspiration is a great name for a show. Improvised Champions, Champions of Lore, so, you know, the winner, when we did our poll towards the end of the episode and took a bunch of the names that we, you know, liked versus kind of liked, and listed it all out, the winner was Idle Insights. And shout out to our art director, Adam Kosh, for helping our art overlord, Alexis, design the Idle Insights logo. And there it is, Idle Insights. So the show is now Idle Insights. There will be 2 episodes of Idle Insights in 2020 before we really kick things off next year. And I will have another guest for the show on Thursday next week that I'm excited about. But yeah, shout out to Alexis. She did a really great job. You know, the details really came through. You can see the D20. You can see that the iris eye would be where the 20 is, and then Idle Insights. I don't know. I really, really like it. I'm happy with it. Anyways, Regnar had asked whether or not there was any chance for Extra Life donations becoming available over the course of next Wednesday's stream. And it's not something that we've planned for at all, but I will make a note, because typically Extra Life donations, depending on what the donations are, typically they go through to the end of the year, right? For us, what we did was we had DLC tied to it, and I think those windows of donation for the different DLC items are all done now. I could be mistaken. But I will pass this along to the team, and maybe something will come of it. Let's see. The next step is Idle Insights t-shirts. Maybe Cassius335. I know that, you know, I like our show logos. I would love to have a, you know, like a sort of like when you go to a show and you pick up a band shirt or band tee. I would love to have a band tee on like some sort of like charcoal gray black for Bardic Inspiration, and I would like to also have shirt with the Champions of Lore logo and so on. Like, I think we've put out some cool logos, so who knows? Maybe we'll get one. Let's see, Dylan. We need new Idle Champions dice that have Idle Insight Single Eye as the 1 to go with the Iris dice that have her as the 20. So I don't like it when dice replace the 1. I prefer that only the 20 gets replaced with the logo. 1, because I don't want a logo to be failure, and 2, because I like the consistency when it's always a 20. But that's a cool suggestion. I know. So making dice is actually really, really, really expensive. Like one of the reasons you do D6s is because they are more affordable, and you obviously have to order great quantities. And we actually have a surprising surplus of Iris D6 dice at the office right now, because they were going to be given out at conventions this year. Obviously that didn't happen, and I'm not super optimistic about there being conventions next year that we get to attend. I mean, we'll really see how things go. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how we'll give them away yet. We'll figure it out. I know we tend to give some away when we do physical prizes. Speaking of, another thing that's coming next week for our day of streaming is not only will we be doing raffles throughout the day in chat, giving away brand new, as yet unannounced DLC packs, we will also be giving away, we'll be doing some physical goods giveaways that I'll talk more about then. Actually, it's too early to talk about them now. But it'll be, the entry will be over the course of the day of streaming next Wednesday, December 16th, and then the winner or winners will be announced during the Thursday live stream next week, after my interview with the really, really cool guest that we have for next week. Temini. I'd love to see an interview with Tom Hazel, also a High Rollers player. Yeah, I got to chat with Tom when Quill joined the game, last year. So I guess it's been over a year since I talked to Tom, because our first High Rollers character was Ayla in like March last year. It was Ayla, and then Quill, and then Sentry, and then this year it was Nova and Lucius. And it's just kind of like, yeah, it took a little bit. But I have spoken with all the cast members, and as well, at least one of our live streams had Mark Hulmes on it. I can't remember when it was exactly, but I know it happened. I'm certain it happened. I know I've talked to Mark Hulmes a whole bunch of times, and were any of them on stream? Am I just old and like I have parent brain and I don't remember anything? Chat, can you tell me if I talked to Mark Hulmes on this show? I swear I did. On the weekly Idle Champions live stream before Idle Insights. Somewhere in the 151 episodes, I must have talked to Mark. Yeah. Yeah, Tim and I, everybody has been on the show at least once. The The only one we didn't have for a live show was Kim, because around that time she couldn't make her schedule work, and so she and I pre-recorded an interview that we broadcast later. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Let's see. Question. Will we see new speed champions in year 4? We only have 2 of them available for Strahd. So I think different methods of speed champions and like different methods of accelerating progression are something that we find interesting, and when it fits with the character and a design package that is coming together, that's when we do it. We've never prioritized like, oh, gotta have a speed champion soon. We've never done anything like that. So what I'm saying is, like, I think it's safe to expect a champion that could be called a speed champion, but if you want any specificity or any idea of what it's going to be like or when they're coming, I don't have anything to share with you. I have visibility personally, as Dylan, the third marketeer of the marketing department here. I have visibility into the next half dozen or so champions that are like locked in. But the further out they are, the less locked they are. You know, development timelines for all the platforms that we're on mean that we tend to have everything built for a couple months out. And so I am certain of who the next 3 champions are, like absolutely certain, maybe 4, but beyond that it gets pretty up in the air. Like, we have lots of planning going on, we have lots of things planned. At least one character appears to be coming out on somebody's birthday next year, which we're very, 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 very excited about. But yeah, lots of cool stuff. Somebody's asking, what's currently happening to the boss currently on my screen? Overwhelm maybe needs knockback resistance. I'm not sure. Yeah, Cassius, I don't know what's happening on your screen. Yeah. Are there any evil champions in the pipeline? Ooh, that's a good question. I will check, because I'm not sure if there are. I mean, the next champion's evil. Yeah. The last champion of 2020 is an evil champion. But beyond that, I don't think so. I think the next champion will be our last evil champion for a while. Yeah. Yeah, the other ones are not evil. Yeah. I don't want to hint too much at it. I want to be... Announcements related to the next champion will be coming next week, and I don't want to spoil too much, but I can confirm that the next character is evil. And then beyond that, let's see. Oh, beyond that, there are more evil characters coming. Yes, there are evil champions in the pipeline. Sorry to change my answer. All right. I hope this is an easy question. How many champions are coming in 2021? It's actually not an easy question, Star Chaser. So there's a few things that there are a few easy assumptions that you can make as a player. We release a new champion with every event. Generally, there are 17 events in a year, so you can safely assume that 17 champions will be coming. Now, if you're wondering whether or not any more evergreen champions or champions that are unlocked outside of events are coming, that is harder for me to answer. We did 2 this year, none last year, and 1 or 2 the year before, I think it was. Yeah, I'm not sure yet. We'll have to wait and see. I know there are thoughts, but what I don't want to do is be like, I don't want to give a definitive answer because none of that's locked. And what I really don't want to do is to maybe accidentally announce a character a year and a half before they come out, which we might have done before once. So, yeah. So yeah, 17 plus champions in 2021. Hopefully more than 17. I know that There are a lot of ideas for what champions, what we could possibly do with other evergreen unlocks, but it's there's nothing set in stone around it, so talking too much about that would be a little premature. Alrighty, do you expect that there might be additional perk tiers added to patrons in the future? I've maxed out Mert and Vajra and may finish Strahd today or tomorrow. More, please. I don't know. I know that it's not something that we're necessarily planning on, because like what the perk tiers do is they allow you to hopefully improve your formation enough that the added extra challenge of the patron variants, you know, the whatever the patron restriction is on top of your variants, it allows you to do it. And I don't know if we have plans to, you know, basically increase that kind of power again. We might. There are certainly more plans for more patrons. Artie, Master Burglar, third Modron core question mark. What can I say about that? So we've talked about this a few times because every once in a while it comes up. You know, as we iterate on Modron automation and we smooth out that system and we work on the memory footprint and all that stuff, we want to make sure that it is in a state where we can introduce a third core to the game, to have another variant running in the background or another party running in the background. So yes, we do plan to do more Modron cores, but I can't give an ETA on it. You know, that depends on just too many things at this point to really say. Yeah, I know that's not an answer you likely want, but it's the best I can really do with it at the moment. But there's always a chance, because we're planning to have a developer Q&A as part of our day of streaming next Wednesday for the Year's End Festival. You know, you could always ask Dave and Justin then. Yeah, squashing Modron bugs then, hopefully. Yeah, that is the major thing. The Modron automation and multi-party mode feature, as it were, was something that started as what we thought would be a simple idea at the end of last year, and took much longer to build than we had thought, and a lot more work than we had thought, and it ended up becoming one of the biggest features in the game at all. So, yeah, it's it's something that we're still working on. Yeah. Plus, we're in the I'm not going to call it a crunch because that's not fair, but we have a lot of boxes we want to check before the holiday break so that we can all comfortably take a couple weeks off and not have to put in any extra hours working in the office necessarily while we're on break. And so that's kind of what tends to be what we focus on for the last few weeks of each year, is just making sure that, you know, Midwinter is ready to go, or sorry, that Winter Shield is ready to launch before we're done, that everything is tested and works with it, that the new champion works and all of that stuff. You know, we tend to do a holiday giveaway thing as part of a newsletter sign up, which is to say, if you have not signed up for the Auto Champions newsletter, where we send weekly chest codes to give you free stuff, you absolutely should before Christmas. Because Christmas this year is on a Friday, and you know, you will definitely want your Christmas present. What can I say? Yeah. So nobody has to turn on the event if it starts on the 23rd, because what happens is we set it in game to just go active at that time. Like, you know, we can do that part as long as all the assets and all the data and everything is already in the game. Ugh, that's Cypriex. So gross. I cannot wait to make my party face one in our Descent into Avernus campaign. It's going to be a lot of fun to mess with them with. I live to mess with my players as a DM. It is the best thing. I cannot wait to mess with the party trying to rob Jarlaxle. It's going to be so good. The best part was So, role-playing Jarlaxle in my home game, I gave him a really snooty, cheesy French accent, which immediately irked all of the players. Like, they just immediately disliked the character, and like they know him as a Zardoz Zord, who, you know, is wearing a pretty ostentatious outfit, of course. Anyways, looking forward to that. It's going to be fun. Hi Dylan, I'm having trouble finding the available skin dialogue. Would it be possible to show where this new feature is? There is no available skin. What are you talking about when you don't have a skin? Like if you click on a character and you go into their skins? I can't, unfortunately, demonstrate that for you because I have all the skins. Wait, no, maybe I don't. Did I do this one? No, I haven't. I think I do have all the skins. So I can't demonstrate it for you at the moment. Whoops, I should put Lucius back in. Rest in peace, Sean Connery. Yeah. Yeah, rest in peace, Sean Connery, and rest in peace, David Prose as well. By the way, I don't know how many of you know who David Prose is, but he's the actor who physically portrayed Darth Vader in the original Star Wars films. He passed away recently as well. Yeah. Anyways, I can't show you what the available skin dialogue looks like when I have them all. Because it's not going to show as available. David Prose was in A Clockwork Orange? Man, I haven't watched Clockwork Orange in a long time. It's been over 20 years for me. I mean, I remember Malcolm McDowell pretty clearly in it, but who did David Prose play in it? I'm just going to IMDb that in my... let's see. Bum, 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 bum. He played Julian, the old man's bodyguard. Okay, cool. Yeah. Anyways, you met him and Kenny Baker at Dragon Con. Hey, good for you, because somebody showed a poster of the original Star Wars cast recently where they had edited it to have everybody as Force ghosts who had passed. So of course it's only Han Solo and Luke Skywalker who are still kicking it, and it's just, it made me sad. Yeah. A question to chat about the Idle Champions emails. I signed up and got a code for Hitch. I've never received another in the last 3 months. Any ideas? Yes, you check spam. Revelation, if you're having trouble receiving the emails and they're not in your spam filter, I recommend starting just emailing us. Email idlechampions@codenameentertainment.com. Yeah. And just be like, with the email that you used to sign up, and be like, hey, like, I'm not receiving the newsletter. And then at least then we can take a look in the system and see if there's a reason on our end that we can think of. You can't find an available skin dialogue in the game, so maybe that was the point of the question. They were being too vague. Oh, that could be it. I mean, it might be just another instance of the terminology being too much how we internally talk about something, and not necessarily something that makes it easy for people to understand. My understanding of the available skin thing is that when you go to a character's available skins, so like you go into their character screen and you click on their scale and skin thing, this is the system that was updated, and it was updated to include skins you no longer have, if there are any. But I can't really fully demonstrate it because I don't have it. Yeah, or rather, I don't. There are no skins that I'm missing because this account automatically gets them. Yeah, I'm guessing that's what you're referring to. Yeah. Favorite Kubrick film? That's a good question. Let me look at his IMDb. I mean, it's almost definitely 2001: A Space Odyssey, but let me refresh myself on all of his films because it's been a while since I've seen any of his films because he's been gone for a while now. Let's see. Yeah, it's either 2001: A Space Odyssey or Doctor Strangelove or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. Yeah, Doctor Strangelove is just brilliant. But probably 2001: A Space Odyssey. It's such a good film. It's a little slow by today's standards. It's very cerebral. You know, I like a lot of his other films. You know, I liked Clockwork Orange. You know, it's a pretty messed up movie, but I enjoyed it. The Shining is a pretty intense film, but I liked it. Full Metal Jacket is a pretty intense film, but I liked it. I never did get around to watching Eyes Wide Shut. But yeah, 2001 is a masterpiece. And Doctor Strangelove is so good. Like, such a good film. Yeah. Has nobody in your group watched the old Ack Inc. vids? Perkins gave all his drow French accents. No, they haven't. Yeah, they haven't watched old Ack Inc. They've watched lots of Critical Role. Anyways, yeah, the whole reason that I gave Jarl Axel a snooty French accent was because of Chris Perkins' performance of Jarl Axel. You just went to Century and that doesn't happen? Available skin doesn't include pack skins. Yeah, so it sounds like you guys are seeing a lot of inconsistency in how this is showing up, and I don't know if you all have the most updated versions or what. I don't even know if I have the most updated version because I've left the game running for quite a while. But detail it, yeah. If there's a bunch of glitches and inconsistency in the skins, how it's showing up, we would like to know. Let's see. Bum, 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 bum. Doot, doot. All right. Let's see. It would be the new skin would be nicer if unowned skins came after owned skins, i.e., the default, so you don't need to pass through them to see what you actually have. Yeah, if there are some skins, Cassius 335, that are or aren't showing up, yeah, let us know, because my understanding of it is that it should show all skins, and then at least that was you know. So it's been a while since I looked at the thing and how it was planned to be implemented. So it might just be that I'm mistaken about what it's supposed to show. But I was under the impression that what it does is it was just an evolution of this box here to change this system, which it's different than it used to be, and that even if you don't have skins, things should show up there, and then also hopefully let you know where they are. But yeah, anywho. I mean, I'd pass the question along to Sean, but Sean took time off to play Cyberpunk, so. Oh, reached that part of the stream where my back is starting to get really stiff. Oh boy. Let's see. Oh, still nobody's found the hidden code. I mean, I made a point of saying it a few times already today. And I feel like if I draw any more attention to it, it'll be found instantly. So I don't like. I worry about giving hints. Yeah. I'm not sure. Is this a group stretch moment? Yeah. Everybody, stand up. Stick your arms up. Oh. Oh boy. Definitely gonna get up and move around a bit after the stream is done. This is one of those things. Okay, what else do we have on the go. What else can I talk about? Let's see. Day of streaming next week. Year's End Festival starting next week. Information about that coming early next week. A little bit of stuff coming tomorrow. Event coming at the end of the year. Guest on next week's stream, but I'm not going to say who yet because it'll spoil things. You know, special episodes of a bunch of shows on Wednesday. Tuesday next week, we're not going to be having a Bardic Inspiration. Episode 20 of Bardic Inspiration will be on Wednesday instead, because that was when we could line up our schedule to work with Ed Greenwood's schedule. Very excited to do an Elminster song with Elminster. Seems like the best way to do it. Yeah. Anything else? I'm trying to think if there's anything I'm missing that I'm supposed to be talking about. Codename Entertainment Extra Life is canceled for 2020, unfortunately, which makes us sad. Still sad about that. Super happy that COVID-19 vaccines are starting to make it to market in different places. The UK has started immunizing people, or at least started the process of it, or sorry, vaccinating people. I guess it's the right way to say it. And so that's good news. It's been a long, tough year, but starting to be able to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah. Do you have any other questions for me? Oh, I see one from Lauren that I missed. Any fun holiday plans you have? So, my wife and I, before we had a baby, what we would do is we would kind of alternate, like we would do, alternate having like a Christmas at home that we host, where we invite a whole bunch of friends and family and to it, and you know, I make a turkey dinner and do all that stuff, and then a Christmas where we go to one of my relatives, either like my dad and his side of the family or whomever, and like have a frighteningly enormous Christmas there with like 50 people at the dinner table. Or every third year we do Scotchmas, which is where we hang out at home drinking fine whiskeys, ordering Chinese food, and watching movies and playing board games. And it's just our household. And this year actually is sort of like a Scotchmas in that our incredibly tiny at this point bubble of people is Catherine and myself and our daughter, and then Catherine's mum and her mum's husband, and that's it. So it'll be, you know, the 4.5 of us sitting around enjoying fine whiskey, playing video games, or playing board games, and watching movies. I forget the exact name of the bottle that I got. I haven't bought my scotch for a Scotchmas yet. You can order food on Christmas Day. So you can order food from a very limited number of places. Very limited. Yeah. And so, yeah, we order... There's a place in Victoria that I like that we order Chinese from. And they will deliver it on Christmas. And I will happily overtip them because it's Christmas. But yeah, they don't close. Can I join Scotchmas but with whiskey? Whiskeymas? Absolutely, yeah. You know, whiskey is good. God, am I promoting alcohol and drinking now? I am a fan of whiskey. Bourbons are good, Scotches are good, ryes are good. I've found some of each type that I like. My most recent bottle is a blended Japanese single malt, but I can't remember the name of it. I have to go get the bottle. But it's, yeah. Oh, the Game Awards start in 30 minutes. So it starts at 3:15 or it starts at 3:30, Cassius? Centaur makes some good whiskeys. You know, like there's like Toki on the lower end, but I'm also a huge fan of Hibiki. Centaur Hibiki is one of my go-tos. And I was very, very fortunate to have some of the Hibiki 17 before they took it off the market. And it was the most delicious thing I've ever tasted, ever. It was incredible. Anyways. Yeah, good stuff. Thanks for the subs, by the way, Arc Magillus. And Mars, did I see you resub there? Yeah, you have. Oh, man. Wishing me a happy first episode of Idle Insights. Thanks, Mars. Yeah. And stream starts in 30 minutes from now. Actual show's a bit later. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. I will probably be watching the Game Awards. Like I said, crossing my fingers for Hades. You know, it's I feel like games have been an important part of entertainment for everybody this year in a way that they might not necessarily have been, given that there's so many more people playing them, so many more people at home, so many more people not working, unfortunately. And yeah, I don't know. I'm just starting to get to the point where I'm like trying to be optimistic about 2021. Like, this year was pretty rough. Things can go up from here. happily have things going up a bunch. It'd be great. Yeah. Anyways. Do we have any other questions that I can answer, hopefully? You know, it occurs to me that I am no longer the best person to answer all of these questions. I used to be, because I used to, well, I used to do all the Q&As, and I used to be a part of a lot of stuff at Codename that I don't spend as much time in now because I'm so much busier. It's been crazy. Do you want Ashley or Laura to win Best Performance at the Game Award? Oh, wow. So I haven't actually played The Last of Us Part 2 because I loved the first game. It was a pretty emotionally devastating experience to play through, and I haven't really had it in me this year to play another emotionally devastating experience of a game. So I don't know anything about their performances. I know that there was a lot of conversation about both performances, especially Laura's, because I guess she played a character that drew a lot of aggro from fans, and she received a lot of hate online, which is nuts to me. I mean, to me that says that her performance was probably really incredible, that people had such a strong reaction to it. But I don't have a preference. Yeah. I don't have a preference for which one wins. I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, it was a tie kind of thing, like, and the winner is Ashley and Laura. Like, that's the kind of thing that I'd expect. But like, you know, for each time, like, thinking about the two of them, like Ashley Johnson and God, I'm forgetting Laura's last name right now. Anyways, they for each time that Laura does an amazing, like, standout performance, Ashley does an amazing subtle performance. Like, Ashley's role as Ellie in The Last of Us was seriously understated and just very, very, very good. Bailey, yeah, Laura Bailey, that's her name. So, yeah, I just excited for, you know, I'm excited that they're being recognized. I like that voice performance in a game is a thing, is a category. That's cool. You know, I don't even know who's nominated for the Game Awards this year. Let me check. Bum, 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 bum. Where's the nominees list? There it is. I'm always worried that one of these websites is going to have like a loud advertisement or something while I'm on stream, because it'll come through in the audio. Anyways, let's see. Game of the year is between Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, or Animal Crossing, or Last of Us. Huh, that's a pretty wide spectrum of games. I'm still hoping for Hades there. Best game direction. Oh, that's interesting. So Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Half-Life Alyx, Last of Us Part 2. I have only played 2 of these games. Both Hades and Ghost of Tsushima had impeccable game direction. But I assume the other ones did too. I have no idea. Best narrative: 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, The Last of Us Part 2. Okay. I would give that to Hades, not because I think that it told the most amazing story, but because they created a new way to build a massive narrative out of a game that is by definition a very repetitive experience, because like every character in it has like thousands of lines of dialogue and they never repeat themselves, and they're constantly building out the world more and stuff. So like I am more impressed by the fact that they built an incredible narrative for it than I am in the other ones. Ghost of Tsushima was a very typical good story. Assuming that they didn't deviate too much from the original material, Final Fantasy VII Remake story is a pretty typical JRPG. I don't know anything about 13 Sentinels. What else do we have? Art direction, same games again, right? Except also Aerois and the Will-o'-the-Wisps. Yeah, Hades again. Score and music: Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Hades, Aerois, Last of Us Part 2. I don't know any of those soundtracks enough, but I would probably go with Doom Eternal because Mick Gordon's heavy metal soundtrack for Doom Eternal is seriously awesome. But I'm biased. And I was also really bummed out to hear about the falling out between him and Bethesda and all that stuff afterwards. I was really hoping for an amazing soundtrack to come out of that, and I never got to hear one. Audio design, my hearing isn't good enough to comment on that. Performance, there it is. Ashley Johnson as Ellie, Laura Bailey as Abby, Daisuke Tsuji as Jin Sakai, Logan Cunningham as Hades, Najee Jeter as Miles Morales. I don't know. I suspect it's going to somebody from The Last of Us. Games and Impact. I have not played any of these, and I don't know anything about them. And full disclosure, there's a lot of games I haven't played this year. Best ongoing game: Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Call of Duty Warzone, Fortnite, No Man's Sky. Destiny 2, of course. Best indie: Carrion, Fall Guys, Hades, Spelunky, Spiritfarer. That seems unfair that Hades could be nominated both in the best game category and best indie game. Like, none of the other indie games were nominated for best game. Like, isn't that kind of... Yeah. Anyways, I'm assuming Hades is going to get that. Best mobile game, no comment. I don't know anything about any of those games. I bet Among Us gets it though, just because of the amount of like high-profile Among Us stuff there's been. Best community support: Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Fall Guys, Fortnite, or No Man's Sky, or Valorant. Destiny 2. VR AR, Half-Life Alyx probably has that. Innovation in accessibility. My guess is that The Last of Us Part 2 is going to get innovation in accessibility, given the really high-profile stuff that they did in order to make their game playable by people who are blind. You know, like they put the work in. So Last of Us Part 2 seems like a shoe-in for that. Best action, God, that's so subjective. Action adventure, role-playing. I mean, there's a lot of the same titles kind of in a lot of these categories, eh? Best family game: Animal Crossing New Horizons is totally going to get that. Best sim/strategy game. I imagine Microsoft Flight Simulator is going to get that, given that it's the first game where you can like actually, where it's got the entire Earth in it. Is pretty bonkers. I don't play sports and racing games. I don't play a lot of multiplayer games anymore, or exclusively multiplayer. Content Creator Game of the Year, or Content Creator of the Year. What? I don't understand this category. So is like, how do you win for a streamer or content creator who has made an important and positive impact on the community in 2020? How do you measure that? Like, is it who's done the most charity streams? Like, I'm not sure I understand that one. Yeah, it's Content Creator of the Year. Huh. Weird. Best debut game. Best new game from an independent studio: Carrion, Mortal Shell, Raji, Roki, Phasmophobia. I hear good things about Phasmophobia. Best esports athlete. Judged to be the most outstanding for performance and conduct in 2020, irrespective of game. What? Okay. Huh. Esports coach, esports event, esports game. Huh. Esports host. I don't know enough about any of those things to comment. I didn't even realize those were categories. It seems, not that I'm saying that esports hosts and players and coaches, like not that I'm saying that they don't need recognition, need or deserve recognition, because I think that they do. I think anybody who, you know, it's its own industry. It's a big growing thing. It's popular. Like it, they should have an awards show, and they should get their own recognition. I agree with that. But like, I'm not sure I understand why the esports categories are at the Game Awards. Weird. Content Creator of the Year. Like what? Presented by Adobe. Huh. Game Awards in general isn't very well done. It's more of an advertising night and less of an Oscars. Well, I mean, in fairness to the Game Awards, this has been something that, as I understand it, like Jeff Keighley has been pushing for a very long time, and he built it himself. And it has become a thing where people are, you know, it's become a thing where companies are advertising their games and stuff on it. And like, yes, I wouldn't say that I'm personally a fan of the fact that it's in many ways a trailer night, but I do think that, you know, you got to take the money for running these things where you can find it, right? Like, yeah. So I don't know. Kudos to them. Anyways, yeah. This brings us to the end. I'm just gonna double check that let's see. Bum, 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 bum. Let's see. People asking about the hidden code again. Let me just double check something. What is the? How many characters is it? Bum, 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 bum. I can confirm that it has been tested and that it's live. It is a 16 character code for the hidden code this week. And I can confirm that it was said a number of times. And I leave it, you guys have 6 days and 22 hours to figure out what it is. I have every faith that you will, because you guys always do. Anyways, that kind of brings us to the end. It's, you know, it's almost 3:00 p.m. Pacific. So this has been our show for Thursday, December 10th, 2020, second to last Idle Insights of the year, maybe third to last if you include the special that's on Wednesday next week. Thank you guys for joining us today, for participating in the Idle Champions and D&D communities. You know, heart you guys. You guys are awesome. This show exists because of a lot of amazing people behind the scenes, including and most especially our producer moderator Sasha. This time, sorry to get you mixed up with Shay, and our executive producer Erica, as well as our partners at Dungeons and Dragons. And finally, huge thanks to Chris Trott for staying up late to join me from across the pond. Take care, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Enjoy the Game Awards. We will catch you tomorrow morning for Griddle Champions and some pancakes of some things that are coming next week. And yeah, take care. Cheers, everybody.